my name is Saskia and I'm a sexual therapist, also a spiritual guide. I'm a general counselor. I deal with so many different things that I thought I'll just give you a rundown of my different modalities. Today's video is all about erectile dysfunction and male problems. What can we say about erectile functioning? 2 in 3 men has this problem, so it's very normal. It should not be perceived as something pathological to have a dysfunction from time to time. This is just nerves that are playing on you and then giving you those symptoms. The problem begins when the man experiences erectile dysfunction and then they apply that to every situation. So then they are stressed before every intercourse that they're having, before every sex that they're having, before every touch that they're having with their partner. So what do I do in sessions with clients that are experiencing erectile difficulties on regular basis? Well, first I need to do an assessment. I'm taking sexual history from that client. We are finding out, is this a long-term problem or is that just not long ago? What happened at the time? Was that just one occasion when that happened, or is that a regular thing? What's the percentage of the time that it happens? What is the attitude of their partner? That's one of the most important things for me. Are they upset? Are they having their own issues because of your issues? Is this spiraling into something much bigger than it should be? So if I hear that the partner is upset, they believe that it's the client's individual problem, then I might say, look, we might need to invite your partner to come join the session because I can't work like that. There needs to be an understanding and support within the couple in order for this whole procedure to go through. If you're arguing, bickering, and you can't seem to find a solution together to be nice and kind to each other, then we will need to do some marriage counseling, couples counseling first. So very often I hear from clients that, oh, I got Viagra from my doctor and it's still happening. Of course it is, because it's not as much of a physical issue, it's more of an emotional issue. It becomes more physical problem when you're above 60. But usually there is a lot of guys before they hit 60 that come to me and they have problems, even in the early 20s. So it's important to understand that usually there's nothing wrong with the body. Although, of course, sometimes maybe you're after a chemo treatment, maybe there's some body dysfunction, but that's quite rare. I haven't encountered that many instances where this is a purely body problem and maybe some type of a different course of action or medication can help you. I come in more with that emotional value, but even if someone is having physical problems after a chemo, they might come to see me just because the mind can also fix the body. I teach mindfulness, I teach meditation, other techniques and lifestyle changes that will help you on that journey. We now know that the body can regenerate spontaneously. You don't need to have massive amounts of meds to fix your body. You can actually release a lot of trauma and tension just through breathing exercises, eating healthy, living healthy, doing strength training, yoga, and just caring for yourself, developing a better self-esteem, and then the body is not so stressed out. Then we don't accumulate so much of stuff, and in turn we're releasing from, for example, family patterns, from family traumas, childhood traumas. So that will be a next step. So I would start to change the lifestyle of a client. We're trying to figure out how can they implement changes based on their current routine, their current life situation, because I'm not expecting that everyone will do everything the same. We need to talk over how are we going to do this, how can this be implemented. Maybe you can exchange some habits for those habits. If that doesn't work, then we negotiate. I don't say that you need to do exactly what I say, but we need to start negotiating around your habits. So then when we have the lifestyle sorted, you're making changes, there is a progress, and at that point I already see a lot of people shifting. That just slight changes in diet, slight changes in exercise routine, and doing those mindful exercises for the pelvic floor that I prescribe, that's already a massive difference for people. So sometimes someone might need just say a few sessions and then they will be fine. It just all depends on the level of your commitment to this. It all depends on the level of the input that you're giving Of course on your body and on the perseverance, but if you are at least consistent with the changes, that already is beautiful. So then after we have the lifestyle sorted and we're going deeper into emotions and seeing what is holding you back really, because usually we have issues because there are pent-up emotions in the body. The emotions are not allowing our body to function properly. As we know now, the trauma is held in the muscles, in between the muscles and the fascia. So from over there, we need to get them out through mindfulness, meditation, exercise, and different types of somatic techniques also are helping. So we not only inherit genes, we not only inherit the way we look from our parents, we inherit emotions, situations, people. We're driving ourselves into the same types of scenarios. That's why we pick the same partners. That's why we pick the same or similar or total opposites of our parents. We don't want to go the same direction, but that comes with whole another area of problems if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna go the polar opposite. That's why we tend to pick partners that are very similar to our parents. So we have a similar dynamic in that couple. So it's really good if actually you're improving on your partner. So let's say you date someone, then you date someone better, etc., etc. If you are already having that understanding partner, this is already great for any type of treatment that maybe you can heal within that relationship, rather than having to now, okay, I need to decide to leave. Sometimes I would break it to a client that might have the erectile functioning issues, that look, is this a good partner if they are getting upset at you for having that issue that you don't even control, and they don't want to come to the session, they don't want to work with you. So that's the biggest issue in the therapy, if their partner is not supportive. In fact, they've done some studies on how important the partner is, and this is the biggest predictor of success overall in life, to have the right partner for you. That's why I stress this so much. And I coach on dating, I coach on how to pick that partner, so that later on down the track you are improving, not decreasing in your performance. So then going back to the strategies. So again, lifestyle is first. Second comes this emotional understanding, regulation, maybe working on the relationship itself. And later on we might go into some more drastic things, such as pump devices, Viagra, later on perhaps injections, like things that you can do medically. I recommend first focus on improving, perfecting your lifestyle, your emotional understanding, working on your relationship, and restructuring societal ideas around sexuality, restructuring the idea that, oh, I need to perform, I need to have that intercourse, I need to have that erection, or I'm not a real man. Who said that? Who said? If this is your idea, or you perceive it as your idea, well, then that doesn't serve you anyway, right? So we need to believe in things that are serving us, that are getting us further. Beating yourself down for not having the erection is not going to get you anywhere. So then we start to discuss, what is the right mindset to have? The mindset to have is to cherish the intimacy that you already have, to cherish the simplicity over the big excitement of erection and penetration. We put all of these mechanical things in the box, and we focus on what we have and the gratitude for it, and how to truly connect to the self and to the partner, instead of being hyper focused on these mechanical things. As we are restructuring all of this, and you're building up new connections in the brain because of that, because you start to think differently, you start to behave differently, and that means that a lot of negative emotions will be coming out of you. So it's a whole process. I would say it takes up to 3, 6, 9, 12 months to really restructure everything in your life. It's not easy. I see some improvements after, let's say, 3 months is already like, oh wow, yes, we're making progress, we're on the right path. And then after 6 months, some people, again, they might end the treatment because they're very happy with it. Or some people might stay for longer because they want to address more, because there's always more layers to address. But the erectile functioning, it can be treated within 5-6 sessions. Sometimes if someone is very diligent, if they don't have too much emotional problems, that is just this maintenance thing, those few sessions are fine. But in general, I do recommend to stay for a longer treatment, just because we do have a lot to address. It's not only about the body, it's not only about the erection, it's about the inner child, it's about your mom, your dad, your ancestry, your partner. It's a general therapy that is focused on the sexuality aspect, so I would have more knowledge around specific exercises for erectile functioning. I'll have more knowledge about the anatomy, I'll have more knowledge about couples communication, how to handle difficult situations together. And quite often the regular counselor might not want to go into sex with the couples, and they would send them to me, just because I feel comfortable talking about it. I've been doing that for a few years now, and I've been teaching people how to live their life in a more liberated way, more openly about their feelings, and being more intimate and going deeper. And that's not necessarily just teaching fancy sex positions. It's really not about that. And people get confused when they call and they're like, what do you do? Like, oh, what should I expect? Sometimes they would already be prepared because they've done some research, but a lot of people would be like, well, what do we do, right? Like, is there a touching or anything? There's no touching involved, only if I decide to do Reiki with a client. So if I have a regular psychotherapy session, there's no touching whatsoever. There's no taking off the clothes, nothing like that. I don't look at anyone's genitals. You can talk to me about, I don't know, a penis size if that's worrying for you. Then we can talk about societal beliefs around it. But there's no showing, again. So just remembering that sex therapy is all about counseling in the realm of sexuality, and we feel more comfortable talking about those sexual problems just because it's the job. We are supposed to open people up to what sexuality really is, what is a healthy sexuality, how to have it within a relationship. So I hope this all cleared up the questions around what is sex therapy and how I deal with erectile functioning issues in men.